The finale of Chainsaw Man Season 1. I don't want to accept it, people. I don't want to believe it. Tuesdays just got a lot less exciting, a lot more quiet, and just in general, I feel like until Chainsaw Man returns, it's not going to be the same, fam, because this first season of Chainsaw Man leading into this finale, episode 12, has been a roller coaster ride. And honestly, I would even throw the argument, a demonstration in the boundaries that have been discovered, so to speak, or the boundary breaking format that Shonen has gone in with this new direction of Chainsaw Man and this whole anime. Because honestly, Chainsaw Man is a breakaway from the norm, despite the fact that it kind of has that same feel and backing of like, yo, it's a battle series because, you know, Denji's fighting all the devils and whatnot. At the same time, there's so much more to it, and the characters is through and through what drove this season. And this final episode, this finale, this episode 12 to wrap up the first season, which I do believe it is indeed season. I don't think that they're doing this in cores, which means that we probably won't see Chainsaw Man return until like 2024, maybe even towards the later half of 2024, just because, I mean, if you even pay attention, like even some of the smaller scenes in this episode alone, the amount of time that they put into art and animation to make sure that even the smallest of scenes of Aki getting up from a chair is the most fluid you could possibly see, that it looks like a real person on screen, that takes a lot longer than, you know, getting cores done, especially that we don't know what pre-production time was like, but the manga just started in like what, late 2018, early 2019, like opposed to something like Bleach, A Thousand Year Blood War that's been in development for like 5 years. Chainsaw Man has been in development for a couple years with Studio Mappa, but this finale, man, from the get until the end of it with Akis Revenge, after everything that happened with Himeno, I'ma just keep it so real with you. And you know, I occasionally say this with certain episodes, but this one had me extraordinarily emotional. I'ma just keep it real. Aki's character arc, I didn't feel it even half of what I feel for with the anime, with the manga. I was just destroyed while watching this episode off rip, again with that cigarette that says easy revenge that Himeno left for Aki. Like, the whole concept and idea was just not necessarily brilliant, because no, don't smoke, but the whole connecting the cigarettes, because we've seen from time to time again, you know, Himeno smoked, Aki smoked, and sometimes characters in anime and manga, they smoke, but the way the whole bonding, the relationship, the experience was whittled down into this whole message of the cigarette was beautiful and brilliant. This brings me back to the manga of a page that they didn't adapt that I did want to talk about quickly. It was a cover page where Aki is essentially with some sort of soliloquy, so to speak, where he's basically saying that you're the one that taught me how to smoke and you're no longer here, so now my heart burns like ashes, or like a cigarette. I forget, I'm gonna put it right here, but this is absolutely sad and tragic. This is a man that he's just been crushed yet again, and it was crazy because Himeno called it really was easy revenge. Once he manned up and once he wasn't scared no more, that freak of nature monster thingy with the million hands was nothing to him. It's almost as if it's a saying of face your fears. You know, there's just so much context that you could get with this series that's why Chainsaw Man especially. Yes, there's awesome action. Yes, Studio Mappa pulled out all the stops with the art and animation, but it's really the characters through and through that drive this. When you see Aki slowly walking and cutting off that thing's head, that is very impactful. And come to think of it, I believe that solidifies that indeed Himeno was the biggest loss we took with this first season. And just in general, Aki's character was done beyond justice from the start of that, just in general, even towards the end, man, just Aki's character. And then we have on the flip side of things a little bit more humorous side of it, because you could definitely see that Denji, Power, and Aki have truly become a family, because even Denji, while he's fighting Katana Man, again, it leads all back into this camaraderie with Aki, because I ain't gonna lie, that battle with Denji and Katana Man, let's talk about one thing that was a little bit obvious, because I don't only like to give praise there is a little tiny bit of criticism on that scene where Katana Man and Denji are standing on the train as the train is moving. That was straight up like a 3D CG scene for a little bit. It didn't look necessarily bad. In fact, if you're not really paying that much attention, it will probably blend in with the rest of the episode. But I did notice that Studio Mappa, like, y'all were trying a couple different things. Occasionally it would go back to like a 2D shot of Denji, but they definitely made sure to utilize, which this whole Chainsaw Man anime essentially has been one big experimentation of crossbreeding 3D CG with 2D animation, and that was a little bit of a stick on one. It didn't look horrible or even bad per se, but it was noticeable, which Chainsaw Man has started to become somewhat of a master of blending the two, where you don't see the obvious 3D shot, but it was there. Sadly, we didn't get too much power in this episode because, again, it was mainly focusing in on getting the revenge against this Katana Man, that chick that was controlling the whole situation, and just in general, the payback for what happened to Himeno. And Denji going up against Katana Man, the way it was done, I ain't gonna lie, I even kind of somewhat forgot some of the points of this fight. So when like Denji is down and then Katana Man cuts off the chainsaw on his head too, I'm like, wait a minute, how does he get out of this one? What the hell is gonna happen? Who's gonna save him? And the fact that this also shows, you could throw the argument that despite the fact that Denji is sold to us, he is shown through and through like he's just a lovable dim-witted idiot. Like, you know, he's just really, really silly and ridiculous. But to see him pull out just a smidge, just a tiny bit of strategy in this battle against the Katana Man, where he's like, no, I actually got you, and he just splits in half. That Denji caught him on that right moment, tricked him into even doing it. Like, oh, come on, dog, can we just cut that one out? Because he was luring him into using that flash step or whatever the heck that is, so that he could cut him in half. And yeah, Katana Man taking the big L, which I ain't gonna lie, when I first thought of Chainsaw Man's anime, I had no idea, no expectation that this would be the way, or the point, shall I say, that the Chainsaw Man ended. Part of me wanted a 24 straight through, let's just get its greatness or whatever, but the fact that we got 12 and it stops right here with the Katana Man arc. Katana Man, I think, is an actually appropriate end for the first season, because I remember the splash that the Katana Man arc had with the manga fandom. Everybody was going crazy for it. A lot of people, including myself, were heartbroken for what went down with Himeno, so maybe it is an appropriate place. But in terms of structurally, is like, god damn it, can we get episode 13 next week? Like, why we gotta wait? No. I guess let's talk a little bit about Kobeni, even though I'm kind of feeling PTSD after that ass whipping a couple months ago regarding Kobeni. But Kobeni's character, from the moment she actually stepped up and put in work post the whole situation with the Eternity Devil, the moment we saw her go and throw down, that's when I was like, okay, I'm starting to like Kobeni more. You know what I'm saying? She was really annoying for a bit. She had me a little bit like, oh god, just shut up already. But after a certain point, I'm like, alright, yo. And I like Kobeni now. Like, going into season 2 of Chainsaw Man, I'm excited for more Kobeni. So I'll say that they did a good job with Kobeni's character for the most part. Like, she's really more even standout-ish in the anime than she was in the manga. Like, she had, of course, a big following and everything, but the anime just makes her now more likable. There was a moment, again, a few episodes ago, where I was like, get her out of here! Anime is doing a pretty good job with her even as well. And then the ending, the finale of Chainsaw Man after the defeat of Katana Man, where Denji decides to hold a contest, which personally I like the tournament translation better, because when I read it in the manga, he was like, yo, let's do a tournament. And I was like, okay, what tournament? We're going into a tournament arc? Let's go. But no, it was this contest, tournament, whatever you want to call it. The ball kicking one. Essentially getting the get back. And I love yet again that when Aki shows up and he tries to do the responsible thing, and he's like, you know, Himeno wouldn't do this. He pulls out the cigarette that says easy revenge. This is easy revenge. It was like so perfectly put. Yo, you want revenge for what happened to Himeno? Take it. It's easy. Kick him in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? It's almost as if that lesson where, don't forget, Himeno sincerely wanted to get Aki out of the forces, right? She wanted to get him to stop being a devil hunter. She wanted to get him to live a private life with her. She never could. And a part of that was due to Aki's apprehensiveness to do certain things. This time around, no more apprehension. No more, you know, sitting back, stepping back. No more not realizing. Go take that easy revenge. And Denji and Aki absolutely deserved one of the greatest contests, tournaments, anything of the above, with what they did to Katana Man. Rightfully so, they deserve it. And again, that's also a little bit of character. You've seen character development in this episode, true and true, for both Denji and Aki. Aki is let loose a little bit, dog. Like you got a little time left now. You got like what, 2 years? Like a little bit of time left. Let loose a little bit. Go get that revenge. And then with Denji, it taught him to be a little bit smarter, play it a little bit more strategic. And that's really awesome for a finale to add immense character development for both of these two of the main trio. Again, Power. I wish we would have got a little bit more of her. I love Power to death, but she wasn't really too heavily focused in. A lot of it was, again, Denji. Although, I mean, we did get those scenes of her and Denji in the elevator and stuff, so it wasn't entirely void of Power. But yeah, I'm a big massive Power fanboy, but I guess we gotta wait more for that in season 2. I also feel like, to a certain degree, considering again this is the finale and Makima is one of the biggest interesting pieces of this whole thing, you don't know, is she protagonist, antagonist, good guy, villain, like what's going on with Makima at this particular point. Man, like the way it was done, where, you know, it was broken down of what was ordered out and everything that went down and whatnot. Like even seeing the way it ended with Makima for now, I'm like, oh, there's so much more to that evil freaking grin and that evil look that she gives towards the end of the episode, man. Like, it's a good point to a certain degree of stopping, but at the same time, because Chainsaw Man feels like one running epic with no breaks, it's like, god damn it, dog, I don't know when we're gonna get this shit back, but this was phenomenal, man. A lot of us, including myself, doubted Studio Mappa, doubted that they could get this done considering the chainsaw and the 3D CG, even up until release when certain little footage was leaking and it didn't look good. A lot of us were worried, and Studio Mappa said, no, we came, saw, and delivered exactly what you would have wanted, and Chainsaw Man was phenomenal. The ending of episode 12 with that mystery girl talking about, so Denji, is it more that you like being, you know, the country life or the city boy? And I'm like, oh, Reze! Overall, Chainsaw Man, again, is just going to be such a terrible, long wait for the anime return. We still got the manga with Chainsaw Man 2, although it's technically not really part 2, it's the same shit pretty much, it's continuing. But yeah, Chainsaw Man anime, I'm gonna miss you, I'm gonna miss this experience. Thank you to everybody that has been following and watching with me through and through for this first season. We're gonna keep on going strong. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. For people that were anime onlys or still anime onlys, flat out, did Chainsaw Man Season 1 live up to the expectations? Straight up, that's the biggest question. Did it live up to the expectations of everybody hyping it as if it's the greatest thing since sliced bread? Also, for people that are, you know, manga readers, did it live up to the expectations of the manga? Like, did it follow faithfully? Did it do it better? I personally feel like, honestly, Chainsaw Man's anime overall was probably, so far, at the very least, a better experience than the manga by slightly. Maybe in the beginning, Chainsaw Man's manga, I preferred it because of the comedy. Once it found its way to the comedy and being truly the story that Tatsuki Fujimoto penned, that's when it really starts to be like, oh, this is an experience. This is incredible. And I'm going to really miss Chainsaw Man's anime until it returns. This was amazing, emotional, and yeah, rest in peace, Himeno. One hell of a ball kicking tournament. Makima, what are you planning? And it's going to be a long wait to see the beautiful waifu Power's return. But until next time, I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Peace in.